What's good? How y'all doing this evening? Welcome back to another episode of the Don's Favorite here on Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast. It's your boy, the Don. Here with my co-host, Tyrone. What's good, man? I guess he's MIA for a little bit. All right, he'll come back. Hey, I got some special guests on with me right now. I'm gonna start with Twisted Torch TV. What's good, man? How you doing?
Hey, what's good? The Don, FILA Sports. What's good, everybody in the chat? Appreciate all the fans locking into the FILA Sports podcast. Shouts out to my homie DC. Shouts out to Evan, a Buccaneers fan. I haven't been able to be on with any Buccaneers content creators, so I'm anxious to see how this show is gonna go. Shouts out to y'all. Make sure y'all subscribe to my channel, Twisted Torch TV. Content coming out at 8 a.m. in the morning.
Make sure y'all go subscribe to Twisted Torch TV on YouTube. You know, support him. He's a good friend of mine. He's very knowledgeable of Falcons football as well. So y'all go check him out. And we got Evan from Cannon Fire Podcast. How you doing, man?
Doing really good, guys. Thanks for having me on again. I know I was on last season. Now it's the first time this season, so appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. I'm glad to bring you back, man. And I can be a man, and I can admit that, hey, congratulations to y'all Super Bowl win back in February.
Thank you.
I know the reasons why y'all won, but still, I'm not finna go back and open up a whole can of worms on that. So just, enjoy y'all championship, because guess what? Y'all ain't winning again this year. Y'all not running it back. So I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know up front. Y'all are not running it back. So, yeah. But everybody in the chat, thank y'all for joining. Tell me what's good, what's happening, how you doing. Let me know how y'all day was. But hey, if you're new to the channel, y'all already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Share this content out with Atlanta Sports Fanatics. And hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. Now, let's talk about last week. And we're going to start with the Bucs versus the Cowboys game last Thursday. And Evan, I want you to tell me about that victory that y'all had against the Cowboys.
Yeah, well, I think, it was a little bit too close for comfort. I think when a lot of people saw the Cowboys on the schedule, they weren't really thinking it was going to come down to a last-second field goal in which if Ryan Suckup missed the kick, they would have lost the game. I don't think anybody would have really expected that. But, I mean, Dak Prescott played out of his mind. He played great. And really the entire Cowboys offense, it seemed like whichever team had the ball last was going to win. It just felt like that type of game. And, I mean, when you got Tom Brady, and he got the ball last, most of the time – he's going to be able to get it done. So it was too close for comfort, but it's still nice to get a win and start off on the right foot.
Yeah, y'all got to win. And I like how Bruce Arians carved up that Dan Quinn defense, which it's not a big statement to really say, because I'm pretty sure a middle school football team can probably carve up their defense. If you know what I'm talking about, Twisted Torch.
Cover 3.
Exactly. So,
that's how they run.
Mm-hmm.
If they not able to get turnovers, it's a wrap. As you saw in the beginning of the game, they got 2 turnovers, two lucky turnovers. Fournette, the ball went off his hands, went right into the cornerback. So they got some points off turnovers, but you can't miss field goals. And clearly, those 4 points cost them.
Yeah. Taverns Raven, it's a new playbook. We will be fine by the third game. Put Rosen and Franks in the game. Rise up.
I'm back. Hey y'all. I know I wasn't here, but I don't even want to read that comment.
Bruh. I had to look it up like, huh? Bruh. Hey, thank you for tuning in, Raven, man. We appreciate you, man. Yeah, but give me why do you want Rosen and Franks to play? I just want to know why. Like, I'm inclined to hear what you're saying.
You just saying that because they're faster, Don. That's it. At the end of the day, y'all keep talking about speedy QBs, but who keeps winning championships? Tom Brady is not fast.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes isn't that fast.
It's not about.
He's able
It's
to
not.
fake people out. Don't get me wrong. He's able to fake people out, Mahomes.
Yeah.
But he's not a fast QB. You're not looking at for a mobile QB. We just saw Monday night what happened with Lamar Jackson. 2 straight fumbles. It cost them the game.
Exactly. You know, I was just about to bring that up. And not even just that, just quarterback. It's not even just pocket quarterbacks. It's about protecting the quarterback.
Yeah, facts.
If you have a good offensive line, you're going to be fine. All right? You're going to win championships. Let me use Tampa Bay for example. Before Tom Brady got there, all right? Yeah, they had Jameis Winston, but they offensive line wasn't that good. And then they had a good defense. They had a top 5 defense. But what did they do? They went out. Not only they got Tom Brady, but they fixed the offensive line. And yeah, they gave him. They brought in Gronkowski, and they also brought in
AB.
Leonard Fournette and AB.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you win a championship right there. All right. So, hey, but let's talk about the white elephant in the room. The game that we lost against Philly on Sunday. I'm gonna let you start with that Twisted Torch, man. And then Tyrone, if you around, man, you want to talk about that, you can. But go ahead.
Listen, we all know why we lost this game. That front line, that offensive guard position was getting ate up. I saw a play where Hargraves, literally, it took him 1 second to get off that block and get right to the QB. Yep. You cannot have a mobile, not even a mobile QB, a pocket QB, and he don't have more than 2.5 seconds to throw the ball, bro. How can I look and read the field if a guy is in my face the minute I hike the ball? That's tough to deal with. It was another play. I don't know what Arthur Smith was doing on this play. I don't know if Mayfield knew where his keys was or what. We were in the red zone. Mayfield, Fletcher Cox is in front of him. He goes this way. I don't know who he's supposed to be blocking. And Mike Davis is blocking Fletcher Cox. What is that?
That is a huge mismatch.
You can't have matchup like that. Mike Davis can block. He is a stuck blocker, but he can't block
no Fletcher
zone.
You're not blocking Fletcher Cox.
No, and it's shown he couldn't even block Hargraves. How you gonna block Fletcher Cox? And that cost us. That was the throw where Matt Ryan just threw it out of bounds. When Russell Gage that kind of came open at the end, he was like, "Nah, hell with this. I'm not even finna play this game. It's out of here. You blew the goddamn protection. The play is over. It's dead. I'm not taking that." And Arthur, you cannot have 2 of our best weapons in the red zone out. If we're in the red zone, it's Hayden Hurst and Kyle Pitts. I don't want to hear Calvin Ridley. I don't want to hear about Mike Davis. It's Hayden Hurst and Kyle Pitts in that red zone. That's how you're going to win games in the red zone. That's why we got Kyle Pitts, because we couldn't score touchdowns. So why isn't he in there on that first drive? That was mind-boggling. And I know Arthur saw that. He had to watch that film. He had to eat that film. And hopefully this week he has a better game plan for a top 10 defense or, top 5 front 7. So we got to make sure we take advantage of that, man.
Yeah, my thing for last week is we know, like you said, he lost his game. That O-line was atrocious. The assignments missed, everything that we didn't do, and it was like high school plays. It was like middle school plays on that O-line that you were like, you should know how to block that. It's a 3-man front, and you got the center going 1-on-1 with Fletcher Cox. That's not gonna work. And he just snapped the ball. How you think he's supposed to block? And he just snapped the ball, and Fletcher Cox is coming full speed at him. Mm-hmm. So it was gonna take next week for Arthur. Like Arthur said after the game, it's his fault. Like he took blame for what he did, and we haven't had that in Atlanta. I'll be honest, we haven't had that in a while. So he took blame for his position and what he did. And like you said, you got to use Hayden. You got to use Hayden, and you got to use Kyle. Mm-hmm. So that's really what it was, and that's all it has to take for you to really and truly win. And versus Tampa, you got to have this O-line set. This O-line has to come out next week and really put themselves on the line. Like that's just how it's going to have to go. Like you can't miss with Vita Vea lining up in a 9 technique. I saw that and I was like, that is ridiculous. They have Vita Vea lining up in a 9 technique on the outside. Like you got Jake Matthews, and then mind you, they're switching. They're like that O-line it has to be really focused. Next week is not a game where you can lose your focus. you have to focus next week because Todd Bowles is going to throw crazy stuff at you in that front seven.
Man,
And that's
let me tell you, Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea, oof.
Covers
I
it.
ain't even bringing up Shaq Barrett.
It's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Putting Vita Vea at a 9 technique and then sending all your linebackers and sending the house with Vita Vea at the tackle position is disrespectful. Like, I have never seen a coach do something that crazy. I was like, bro, what? Like, yeah, like next week, and they're going to try to attack it. You already know they're going to try to attack it. That's just, Todd Bowles knows what he wants to do next week. He probably went into this week and was like, yeah, this is going to be, he going to throw out some crazy stuff. And I think D-Lab reported, one reporter, the O-line was out there, the last people to lead the field. And I said, that's necessary. That is necessary right now. Like,
we lost.
You were young in Mayfield.
You win games in the trenches. You lose games in the trenches.
Yeah.
And speaking of the trenches, I'm glad they did something today. You know, they signed some more players.
Two offensive linemen and a D tackle. Nasty, big D tackle too.
Yep.
So
they signed Danny Isidora and Brian Wisman. They were signed. There were two guards that we really need. So, you know, it'll give competition. Now, I know we brought up the offensive line. The defensive line, on defense, they didn't give us any help because we can never set the edge. And then on top of that, Tyrone, what I've been talking about for the longest.
We need a nose tackle.
We need a nose tackle.
We need a big nose tackle.
Space,
and that was it. That
and
was going into the when we were doing draft prospects. It was nose tackle. I don't care what round, get you a nose tackle. Vita Vea in Washington, even though he plays the one tech, Vita Vea at Washington on goal line made you want to take Vita Vea because he plays that nose tackle and he will bust through your center in a heartbeat. And that's what you want. Like, I mean, that Vita Vea is ginormous. Like, I remember when Vita Vea got drafted, I wanted him in Atlanta, and Tampa took him like 4 picks before.
They snatched him.
Him up. And so, like, for when you see his ability, when you got to have a big guy that can move, and that's what you need at that one technique. It was a zero actually. At that zero, you got to have somebody to move. And I mean, that's gonna be. That's gonna be a different ball game with a real nose tackle. I'll put it like that. It's a different ball game.
We signed Mike Pinnell, but like they said, he's on practice squad. I don't see him being on the practice squad that long. To be real with you, like you gotta call him up.
Not with Dean Pease. Knowing what he want. No, I don't think he'll be
with 335 pounds with 6'4",
6'5". He's a big guy.
Like
that's what you need in a 3-4 defense.
Yes, that's what you need right there. You need somebody that's going to anchor that defensive line. You have him at nose. You have Grady on the out, as one of the other ends, and then you have either Kamitsky or Davison.
Marlon.
Marlon Davison as the other.
It's Marlon.
Marlon Davison.
My dream. The guy we just got that's 6'4", 3 was he 320 or something? What did you say? How big he was? 330. Have him at nose, have Grady at strong side, and have Marlon Davidson on weak side in the 3-4.
Yeah, and that's what you need.
And then have Dante Fowler
Dante Fowler as one of the outside linebackers, on the other outside linebacker you have Ogundeji.
I'll take him or Jacob. Get me up out of there. I'm sick of him,
bruh. Like that's why I said thank you. We've been talking about Ogundeji starting over Means. We need Ogundeji as the other outside linebacker.
That's energy, bro. He's a youngster, so he brings energy. Steven Means is cool. He's a friend guy. He's cool with the players. He gets players hype, but I don't see him make enough plays. Jacob got in. He made a sack when he got in the game. Why is he not playing?
That's why I say Tui. So my thing is, you got Tui and Ogundeji, which are two younger guys, which I love. And I love Tui. Tui's energy. Tui's an energy guy on the team. Ogundeji's another energy guy. You have your two inside linebacker set. Dante Fowler got to show me something this week if he starts. You got to show me something. If I'm Dean Pease and I see Ogundeji go out there and actually show me plays and show me that he really wants to play, you got to give him some starting time. I'm sorry, bro. You getting paid all this money and you're not coming off like I want you to. Ogundeji done showed you in preseason like I'm here to stay. And so
Even when he took
It's
snap
just
Sunday,
it's a weird thing right now. I think the rotation is really what it's got to be right now. It's just whatever your rotations are, you got to bring. And I don't want Steve Means. I really want to. I really want to see Tui, and I really want to see Ogundeji really flourish. And those are
Yeah.
my two guys. I really think they're gonna have to flourish. They might flourish as we can blitz it. And Michael Walker, he needs to play.
yeah.
Michael Walker
But
needs to play. I don't need him to be playing special teams.
those guys
Really and
that
truly.
these guys that we're mentioning, they're going to get playing time. I think last week was it was a glorified dress rehearsal for us. None of the starters got any play time in the preseason. So this game right here, I really feel like we're going to be experimenting a lot with the rotation, seeing what works. If it works, we're going to pretty much keep them out there. If it doesn't work, then we're going to pull this person out and just put the other person in. So let's get back to the game that's coming on this Sunday. So we talked about Tampa Bay and Dallas. All right. Last year, we know, and I don't like bringing up last year because we're not the same team. However, Tampa Bay is pretty much similar. It's the same team, same coach, same quarterback, same everything. Yeah, they made some additions here and there, but we did not win not one game against the Buccaneers last year. All right. Normally we have their number every year, but ever since Bruce Arians became the head coach, the tides have turned. So, what you think about this game coming up, Evan?
Well, I think it's going to be a tough one for the Falcons. It's not a easy one. Go on the road against a good team. After a loss like that. Now, do I think the Falcons are going to have a better showing? I do. I do think they're going to play better. I think that's almost by default that they're going to play better football. Especially against a division rival. Like you don't want to go 0-2, right? So you're going to really want to win this game. And I do think they'll play better. But at the same time, it's just such a tough matchup. And, I mean, really any defense matching up with Tampa Bay's offense is, like, good luck. Because there's just so many ways that they can beat you. And unless it's self-inflicted, like mistakes like a penalty or a turnover, there's not many ways to be able to stop this offense. So, I mean, Antonio Brown's getting involved now. Chris Godwin is had a great game. Mike Evans had a quiet game, but he'll get his catches. He'll get his targets, no problem. And I really think if the Falcons want to have any chance, I think they got to pressure Tom Brady. They got to find a way to get pressure on the quarterback. Because if they just let him sit there, I don't know how this Falcons defense is going to fare. Now, on the switching over to the offense versus the Bucs defense, like you guys said, I think you guys hit the nail on the head perfectly. The reason the Falcons lost that game and only scored 6 points was easily the offensive line. I thought the Falcons' offensive line just got dominated.
I know you understand football because, like, a lot of people, especially in our fan base, they think the quarterback lost the game. Matt Ryan lost the game for us.
Yeah, I mean, when a quarterback has very little time, there's only so much you can do. I mean, it's difficult. It's not, so it'll be interesting to see how the offensive line does respond. And I don't know how good the offensive line is. I know there's a lot of young players. There's a lot of inexperience. So that hurts. And also, like you guys mentioned, Tampa Bay's front seven is just so good that it's going to be difficult, and there's going to be matchups. So I think Matt Ryan's going to have to get the ball out quick. I do like what you guys said. Football, if you lose the trench battle on both sides, you're not going to win the game. I mean, that's simple. It's not going to happen because football, you can have the flashiest players in the world, but if you don't have the time to get it to them, or if your defensive line gives the opposing quarterback all day, it's not going to work out for you.
So, all right, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I'm gonna get to Jalen. I got your thing highlighted. I'm about to get in you in a couple of seconds. But
I got a question for Evan too, though.
Hold on. So I want everybody to understand. And I said this on my Facebook page, on Twitter, everywhere. Look at the Falcons' offensive line. Okay. You go from left to right. Jake Matthews, we know he's been inconsistent for years, ever since we drafted him, and he doesn't really, the light bulb doesn't click in his head to the second part of the season. That's facts. Left guard position, Mayfield, wet behind the ears, green rookie. All right, and that left guard position been problems for us since the Super Bowl collapse. Center, Matt Hennessy. Yeah, he had a few starts last season, but he's still new. Lindstrom is our only bright spot on our line. Only bright spot on our line. And then you got Caleb McGarry.
Jay did pretty good on Sunday. He didn't give up a sack or a QB hit.
He didn't either, but I'm just looking at the overall body of work of the offensive line. I'm not just looking at just a Philly game. I'm just looking at the overall general, because like you got to understand, this line doesn't have chemistry.
No.
Okay? And you got to think about Jake Matthews is the leader of the offensive line because he's the veteran person on there. All right? And then after I said Lindstrom, you got Caleb McGarry.
Yeah.
He struggled too. All right? And he's been inconsistent since we drafted him. And I don't understand why we went back in the first round in 2019 to get him and we lost a second and third round pick. We should have just did something else. But hey, it is what it is. But Jalen, all jokes aside, what's worse, giving away a lead in the game or getting y'all behind whoop in the game? Bruh, what happened in that playoff game against with your Seahawks versus the Rams? Let's talk about that. Quiet on that, though. Anyway.
Evan, I was going to ask you, bro, do you know what player has sacked Tom Brady the most in the game?
In a single game?
Mm-hmm.
I do not, actually.
I do.
I know one that got 3 sacks on him before, though. You know his name?
Is it Grady Jarrett?
Ding, ding, ding! Hey, if you get pressure up the middle, Tom Brady can fall. He don't sit and wait in the pocket. So it's on Grady Jarrett and Marlon Davidson to flush that pocket up the middle. The outside pressure for Tom Brady, he don't care about that. He'll just step up, throw bullets, throw darts. Everybody's open. It don't matter. If you get pressure at that guard and center position, he falls. He just says, forget it, next play. You got to get pressure with those 3 people up front, man. It doesn't matter if you're blitzing on the outside. It doesn't work. Even Deion Jones and Fourier, when they do those middle linebacking blitzes, you have to be able to get to them. That's the only way we'll be able to make plays on defense.
Now, I think this Sunday we should be getting a couple of sacks in the game. And I can see Brady getting hit very often. Last week, we just went to get some mobile quarterback, and we just did not set that edge to get home at all. And but Tom Brady being a pocket quarterback, I think that's, should be automatic for the outside linebackers and the edges to get in the backfield, make a sack, or force them to throw a pick or whatever, So I'm getting to everybody's comments right now, so I apologize in advance. So So we talked about Tampa Bay's offense. We talked about Tampa Bay's defense. What do you think? What do you think about the hire of Arthur Smith and the Falcons' new regime? Yeah, we lost against Philadelphia, and you already talked about the loss already. But do you think things should turn around for the Falcons, or do you think that we're going to keep going on this whirlwind and lose so many games and tank, and whatever the case may be? I don't believe in tanking, by the way. So,
yeah, I do like Arthur Smith. I liked what he did in Tennessee. I thought I think he really fixed Ryan Tannehill. I think he really helped Ryan Tannehill become the quarterback that he is now. The difficult thing is when you look at the Falcons roster, it's a mix of young players, but there's also veteran players in important spots, like Matt Ryan, a really veteran quarterback who, let's face it, like in 4 or 5 years, he probably won't be the Falcons quarterback in about 5 years. Mm-hmm. So, you got to sort of decide, do you want to win now and sort of go out and try and get those veterans, or do you want to just rebuild for the future? I personally think that Atlanta, like, it can have a bright spot, but I do think that they're heading towards a rebuild. I think Kyle Pitts is a fantastic piece. But personally, I would have probably either drafted Penny Sewell or Justin Fields at that spot. I personally, that's what I would have done. But I think Kyle Pitts is a fantastic piece on your offense. I just think that right now, when you're looking at the talent and sort of the timelines that everybody is on, I just don't know how many wins they're going to get. They have a ton of talent on offense, and I think they will be able to outscore some teams. But their defense is really lacking talent right now, and I think it's going to be probably a year or two before they can really build that up again.
Okay. I like that answer a little bit. That's
I do think they have the right people in place. I like the GM that they hired from the Saints. I do like Arthur Smith. So I do believe they have the right guys in the right spots. I just think it's going to take a little bit of time. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, we do got Dean too.
That's right.
I disagree with you on the Justin Fields pick, but I do agree with you on the Sewell because my either pick was either Sewell or Pitts. Those were my two picks at that 4th spot. Now I wanted us to trade out of it. I was highly in favor of trading out of it to get more picks.
Yeah,
to fix the because I wanted us to get into like the teens, and I wanted to draft a guy like Vera Tucker out of USC, and then you can get 2 2nd-round picks and 2 3rd-round picks, and you could have drafted a nose tackle there or a pass rusher. You could have drafted. You still could have drafted Richard Grant. The possibilities would have been
got some more depth there.
So,
yeah. My thing was, my whole thing was my O-line background, and I was like, yeah, Sewell's the pick here at 4 because I'm just biased. I put it like that. I'm biased with O-lineman. When I see a talented, like a generational talent, I'm gonna say pick the O-lineman at 4. So I was like, you got to go Sewell, but when you got to a certain point, we got closer. I think when we got closer, we knew it was going to be Pitts. I think the more and more closer you got to draft week, you were like, yeah, it's Pitts. Because they kept talking about how we interviewed him so many times and we were talking to him. Everybody's just like, okay, so we know who we're taking. But when you get to a certain point, you're just like, do you now you want to go back and be like, man, we should have got him. But you can't do that. You can't go back in time and be like,
go back
and try to tell you got to live what you have.
And it makes sense now because apparently the front office, they kind of knew the mood that Julio was in. Yeah. So they already knew that this man, he already had 1 foot out of Atlanta. So why not go ahead and just draft you another potential generational talent in Kyle Pitts and the wheel to keep spinning without Julio.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. And you already had Calvin here. Like you had your smaller, I wouldn't say smaller receiver, but you had your speedy quick guy, and then you had Kyle Pitts, who was going to be your big guy. And that's why I agree with Twiston. We said in the red zone, you got 2 big guys. You got Big Red, and then you got Kyle Pitts. So you got to use those 2 guys. Like, so I mean, like when we go back to, I was never on the Justin Fields hype train. I mean, even when he was in college,
hold on,
and people wanted Justin Fields, I was never on that hype train.
Man, hold on. I didn't say Matt Mike. I didn't say Jake Matthews get beat. What I said, he's inconsistent. And yes, you brought up the penalties and the timely sacks. That's part of being inconsistent. We get these penalties unopportune times. Yes, sometimes when he does give up a sack, it's at an unopportune time. But as the season gets better, as the season goes quicker, as the season progresses, he gets better.
He gets stronger.
Yeah, he gets stronger. Yeah. Like that's how
he gets more.
That's most O linemen anyway. Like as the season gets better, they feet, they get their feet together and like they get better. So it's not I'm not trying to down Jake Matthews, but at the beginning of the year he does struggle a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot.
I want to touch on that. I just want to touch on the whole line thing. You have to really realize, like, it takes a couple weeks for O linemen to get to peak physical shape, because you can go through training camp and you can go through preseason and you're still not ready for regular season. You can go through off-season training, all of this, and you're still not game shape. Mind you, like we said, week 1 we didn't play no starters in preseason. So week 1 was like as some people are saying, it's a glorified preseason game. But my thing is for O-lineman, like we saw Hennessy when I was talking about Hennessy and the guards not helping Hennessy. As a center, you got to snap the ball and get your head up.
Yeah.
Your guard supposed to help you. Like these guys are still learning and they're still trying to help you. They have to build camaraderie. That's my only thing for these guys now is that when we lost Josh Andrews, that's when the camaraderie messed up a lot. I put it like that because Josh Andrews was supposed to be the starting left guard.
Yeah.
We weren't supposed to start Mayfield this year. Mayfield was our project. He was going to be down the line. We were going to let him get some time, get some time in practice and down the line to get reps at guard because he played tackle in college. He can play every position, but he played tackle. And everybody was talking about, well, you can move Sewell to tackle. No, you can. I mean, you can move Sewell to guard.
You can't do
That's
that.
not going to happen with Sewell.
The
only person
lineman
that
can't
said
do
was
that.
ABT. ABT was the only one that you could have moved from tackle to guard because he had already played guard most of his career at USC. He was optioned when in the draft. It was G and T on his name. Yeah. So when you talk about this O line, Mayfield is young. He's young. Hennessy, this is his first.
You cutting out.
Like
I said, with Mayfield, yes, he can play every position on the line, but does that mean he's better at left guard than
tackle?
Mm-hmm. No. I'm a Michigan man. I love Michigan football. All right. I've been watching Michigan even before Tom Brady was there. All right. So Mayfield is better at tackle. And like I knew when they drafted him, I knew he was gonna be like a project player, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, they may end up trying to not get rid of McGarry, but McGarry's job is on the line when they drafted Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead, Twisted George.
I was gonna say one thing about your boy. He had said something about how they didn't help the center. Philly did a good game plan. What they were doing was they put 5 people to make it a single matchup for everybody. So when he's hiking the ball, the guy is already pushing him back. And that's why Mayfield wasn't getting double teamed. It wasn't double teams help because they were sending 5 people on the line. But back to the Buccaneers and the Falcons. One thing we're not saying. Last year, Matt Ryan's numbers versus the Bucs. He threw over 600 yards and 5 touchdowns in those 2 games.
And that's with the Dirk Cutter's offense. Oh my!
That's exactly. And that's not with Kyle Pitts. That's not with Julio Jones. They didn't play those games.
Also, 0 interceptions in those games too.
No, he didn't. That last game, they did like a conservative play calling. The first game, they kind of let Matt Ryan be free. And that's my thing with Arthur Smith. I'm wondering with this week 1, I'm wondering, was he just trying to show that he can run the ball? That he can go from Tennessee and have a bell cow and come to Atlanta and still have a running game. We all know the Falcons' running game hasn't been good in 4 years, right? We all know that.
That was a positive Sunday. We ran.
Yeah, that was the biggest positive
yards.
we had Sunday.
Before the first half, we had 100. We had over 100 yards. And Asia, Sewell was drafted by Detroit Lions.
I thought it wasn't the Bengals.
No, it was Detroit.
Oh yeah, the Bengals draft Chase. I'm tripping.
Yeah,
it was Detroit.
Yeah, you know they're gonna have another Carson Palmer situation in Cincinnati. But we're not gonna talk about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord.
Oh man.
We're not gonna talk about it. But that's gonna be the next situation up there. But my it's just this team is too talented. I'll put it like that. Like people, you like Evan, you said yourself, there's a lot of old guys and a lot of new guys, so it's a big mixture. You gotta find the middle ground. I mean, we brought in, Harmon and we brought in Harris to basically help Jalen Hawkins and Richie Grant these next couple. They're really this year, they're just developing them. Because next year, that defense is going to be young. Let's be honest. That defense, there's not going to be a lot of, because I don't know who our cornerback to is unless we put Io out there. And you can keep Fabian Monroe because Fabian Monroe isn't that old. He's not an older guy. He's a younger guy. He's a younger.
I like Fabian. Veteran. I like Fabian. Fabian is a good journeyman DB that you can have on the team.
26.
And he's his second.
Yeah.
But yes, we do need to look. We need to look in the draft next year for some more corners.
I think it's just depth now. I think all we need now. I think
Is
defensively is
yeah.
depth. Like I mean, offensively, we're gonna have you need O linemen. I mean that's automatic. Like we saw that week 1, but I'm not gonna give up on this O line. And I said this about Mayfield when we took Mayfield out on that drive. This is when we took, and I'm gonna tell y'all when we took Mayfield out, which was the dumbest thing ever. It was that 4th and 1 play. It was the 4th and 1 play when we took him out and we put in Drew Dalman, which I was wondering what was the reason even behind that. Then we get all the way down the field, and then you see Drew Dalman causing penalties and stuff. It's just like, man, I don't know, man. It's
Mad Mike right here?
Yes, it's Mad Mike. You know,
right, I don't know if that was a Travis or a Mad Mike, but
I got a major problem with this Bucs guy. He's talking nonsense. You are absolutely. How can you say that we need to rebuild and you guys retooled and you in the Super Bowl? What is this?
Man, how you just gonna take? I was gonna say that. I was waiting. Man, this man that came on my show and took over what I was gonna say.
Y'all got a new quarterback, and you talking about we need to rebuild. You got
Bro, I was just gonna say that.
Come on, man. Let us know why. Why would you say we need that? Like, well, come on, man.
They won 4 games last year.
I apologize. I apologize, then, but I just had to say that. That was really bothering me. I'm sorry,
good,
everybody. Please go to Twisted Toys TV. Man, show this man some love. When I tell you right now, this dude is gonna be the greatest thing since sliced bread. All right, you know when everybody use peanut butter, you can put some cheese on it, you can put some mayonnaise, you can put some jelly on it, you can put peanut butter. This boy right here is gonna be bigger than Mad Mike himself. I promise y'all. All right, but Bucs, man, please, I want to know why would you say that?
They won 4 games last year.
And I don't blame you neither. Like she said, she nervous for Matt Ryan against that Tampa front. I feel the same way you feel.
We don't know the game plan yet, guys. We don't know what Arthur Smith got in his
That's
back
why I say
pocket.
That's why I say I'm not gonna give up on the O line because we don't know what that O line's gonna do next week. Like y'all, if you're a football fan, you've seen young O line turn into great O lines. Let's be honest. They don't all have to be Pro Bowlers.
You have to build chemistry.
Pro Bowl, maybe guards, maybe tackles. But if you get those guys young and you build them up, I mean, it's not like college where you get them all 4 or 5 years. But even if you can do it really here, we had a horrible GM that didn't want to invest in O line
or D line.
It's just like, what do you expect? Really and truly, like I don't see why people are giving up yet. That's my whole thing. You can't give up on these young guys. That's just my whole thing now. It's like just don't give up yet.
You have to give these guys time to develop and build that chemistry. Like I said, we got 2. You got Hennessy and Mayfield. These guys are young. All right, you got a veteran in Matthews, and then you got McGarry and Lindstrom, who were drafted the same year. Give them time. Just give them time. They ain't gonna hurt.
That's on the fan base, bro. That ain't just on the players now. Our fan base is shaky. Not the content creators. Well, it's some content creators that be doing that shaky stuff, but they be leading people on to think that it's worse than what it is. Give the team a chance.
We can't just yes, the Falcons fan base is shaky, but guess what? Tampa Bay fan base is shaky too because them guys were nowhere to be found for the past 18 years, and all of a sudden Tom Brady got there. I swore that fan base done got inflated. Am I lying? Evan, please tell the truth. Come on now. When nobody talking about no by the Bay or Go Bucs, none of that. I ain't seen none of that in 2018 or 2019. Even before that.
Well, when you're not winning, man, it's just not going to happen. I do know that the Bucs have a very, very loyal fan base, but there's also going to be a lot of people that come over because they're Tom Brady fans, because they're Rob Gronkowski fans, and then not to mention, when you win the Super Bowl, you're always going to have those guys, right, that jump right on the bandwagon and just they're just gonna be rooting for that team, right? So I will say I've been following the team. I've been covering the team since about 2011 or so. So I've seen a lot of stuff, and it's definitely gotten more. I mean, there's definitely been more Bucs fans. I will say that. But also, I think Bucs fans were just sort of waiting for this moment. They've been, between the Jameis Winston stuff and all the kicker issues that the team had and all the horrible defenses that they had to go through. Bucs fans are just waiting, and now they're sort of just reaping the benefits right now.
And that's the thing, man. We, like I said,
y'all had a good defense for a couple of years though. That front seven been good for a couple of years.
Ever since Todd Bowles got down there, their defense was the top five because they went from the worst defense in the league to having the best defense in the league in literally the first year Todd came down there. And, I said, wow, like, the only thing they really need to do is just retool their offensive side of the ball and they'll be fine. And lo and behold, they did more than that. They won a Super Bowl with it. So,
So I got a question for Evan. Who won that Super Bowl last year, your offense or your defense?
I mean, I think it's when you hold the Kansas City offense to 0 touchdowns, I think it's pretty difficult not to say the defense.
Okay. That's all we need. That's all
that was it. Okay.
That's all we need to know.
He knows his stuff, guys. He knows his stuff. We good.
That's all we need to know because let's be real because defense win championships. All right, and we say this all the time. I will be fine if our defense is better than our offense this year.
I swear.
I'm talking about we having like a above average defense. I'm talking about near top 10. Or I could take a top 10. I'll be fine with that. And we have an average offense. I'll be all right with that. Because guess what? I know we have a chance to make the playoffs with that.
Yeah. Because Matt Ryan can score 2 touchdowns. If he has a defense that can stop people, Matt Ryan can score 2 touchdowns. That ain't the issue.
Yeah.
That ain't never been the issue.
That and just giving the defense can create turnovers to give Matt Ryan more chances to score. That's good. Not even just giving him chances to score, but our offense. And like Arthur Smith did a great job at this too. On Sunday, a lot of people not giving him credit for. He pretty much the time of possession of the game, especially in the first half, we had the ball more. We had the ball more. And that's the thing people gotta understand. When you run the ball, you control the tempo of the game. You control the clock, and that's what he want to do. He want to control the game. So we just got to score. We just got to execute. But with the penalties, you commit 12 penalties for over 100-something yards. You're not winning no games like that.
And then bad penalties, bro. How are you getting offensive PI?
Yeah, that
Kyle
was
Pitts was gonna make that play anyway. Mike Davis was gonna make that first down anyway. Calvin Ridley, Hayden Hurst, just turn around. Don't try to rock them. They ain't getting there. Come on, guys.
Yeah, but I mean, let's look at the penalties. We got a late hit on Eric Harris, and then on our kickoff, Cordell Patterson gets the same hit. They don't call it. We get Zach Ertz blocked Fabian Monroe on the touchdown to Devontae Smith. And the first thing we get, and then we get the offensive PI for the same type play. So twice. So the same, and when they took out the pick rub plays out of the whole offense and call everything, they took out the pick plays. And the reason the only way you can run a pick play now is if it's a crossing route. You had to make it look legal. They have to and it's so stupid. Because you can't call that flag. That's my thing is that you can't call that flag if he's crossing and the guy's in his way. That's the only problem I have with that call. But the penalties and stuff, we shot ourselves in the foot a lot that game. And versus Tampa, you can't shoot yourself in the foot.
Nah.
Like you got to come out next week and you got to play. I wouldn't say a perfect game, but you got to play a game where you got to pull the running game out. You got to pull out. You got to give Matt some. If Matt has time, you got to give him a deep ball. If we think Matt has time, and we feel like we can break that zone up down there, well, they play a lot of man too. If we think Calvin Ridley can burn some of these DBs like we know he can, give him some time in the pocket and let Calvin do his work. And then let Kyle Pitts work. Let these fast guys we have. Even Hayden Hurst on little rollout crossers and stuff on PA rollouts. He gets on. Remember in Dallas last year, he gets open. He has breakaway speed that can get him into the end zone. If you're on the 40 and he gets it at the 20, he can get in there if nobody's on him. So it just takes some time. Like this offense has to come in and slow. Like this is gonna be a dog fight. Let's put it like that, because we know Tampa likes to run the ball, and when they do pass it, that offensive line makes almost a perfect circle sometimes, unless they get a blitz and they don't pick it up. So, and that's what you got. You got to throw some you got to throw some at Tom. Like you got to throw some looks at him that are. It's not a lot that confuses him. He's been in the league for so long, but you got to throw some there's some cover like you got to cover some cover one man and stuff like that. Like stuff that Tom doesn't see the people in the zones. Like stuff that hide players. Like just something that you gotta show. Like you gotta show him. You gotta show Tom something different.
Ain't gonna work, Mike. It ain't gonna work. You're gonna have to pay off the refs to even get to Tom Brady, because you know the refs. As soon as he smiled, that Tom cheesy smile, everything gonna start going downhill from that point on. So you can sit up here and send blitzes. You can cover 2, cover 1, cover 3, cover 6. You can put cover 11 out there. It won't matter, because if the refs feel like Tom Brady is in love with them, they're gonna change the whole game plan. If you fall at his knees, they're gonna pray. They gonna give everything to Tom Brady. So at the end of the day, with the Falcons, what they have to do, they have to come out running the ball so they can use a lot of play action and get the ball down to Calvin Ridley. That's the only way they're gonna get there. That's the only way they're gonna win this game. Because like I said before,
we need to score first.
Yeah, they're gonna have to score first. We have to score first so we can run the ball. Because we know every time the Falcons play Tom Brady, all right, it's going to go his way. It does not matter what we do. So we got to come out and punch Tampa Bay in the mouth early, fast, quick, in a hurry, so we can run the ball, keep the ball out of his hands, and stay away from that defense.
And I'll be preferring to defer to the second half so you can get that extra possession. Because if the defense comes out and makes a stop, the offense has momentum to score. And you don't always have to do play action to go down the field. You can take deep shots without doing play action. Like, let's do that a couple of times. Like, let's loosen the defense up. Davis cannot guard Calvin Ridley. I know you know that. I know you know that, Evan. If your front seven doesn't get to Matt Ryan, those receivers will find a way to get open. We just have to be able to contain that front seven. You have to.
Look, I don't think, and I know somebody's gonna call me crazy. I don't think Devin Smith can guard Kyle Pitts.
I'm just gonna be honest with you on this. Like we established
that
run game. If we establish the run game Sunday, and we run the ball well, it's over. I really feel like the playbook is gonna open up even more. Like we ran the ball good Sunday, but we couldn't really open the playbook like that.
I don't think he was ready to either, though.
Yeah. And you, like I said, we was experimenting on Sunday. We were just seeing what worked, what didn't work, and a lot of stuff just didn't work, just because the offensive line and the penalties, and then the defense on the side of the ball. Like, man, it just, now I know. And one thing about Dean Pease that I know is when he sees something that doesn't work, it's a quick fix. So I really see our defense playing way better than they did last week.
I saw something with the Bucs that kind of concerned me, is that Vita Vea as a guy that they moved around a lot. Like, I know he's a young stud, but he's had a lot of issues with injuries. And you keep moving him around, putting him at end, putting him, here and there. Like, wouldn't you want to preserve the type of guy like that? Because, like, let's be clear. I don't think he's had a year where he hasn't been injured, and that's a major concern. And if he goes down, and Ndamukong Suh can still dominate, but who's going to be, that guy to pretty much take up that, because they had some issues. They had a lot of issues getting after the pass rush and like creating one-on-ones for a guy like Shaq Barrett. Because if you don't have a one-on-one with Shaq Barrett is not the biggest guy, but he doesn't necessarily command a double team the way a guy, let's say, Chandler Jones. He doesn't command a double team like him. Like he commands attention, Chandler Jones. Like Shaq Barrett, he's a one-on-one. And I think that's a major concern. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, Shaq Barrett, I thought, he got the lone sack for the Bucs. The pass rush, you're right, really wasn't there as much against the Cowboys as I think a lot of people would have liked. And a lot of that, I think, is credit to the Cowboys' game plan. I think they came out with a great game plan of sort of getting the ball out quick, doing simple things, to not have Dak, test that ankle or to test the shoulder, just kind of easing him into it per se. And I think the Falcons should come out with a very similar game plan. When you throw it, I know they want to establish the run. Arthur Smith, coming from Tennessee, wants to run the football. Like, we all know that. But I mean, the Bucs' run defense has been number one in the league the past 2 seasons. So it's not going to be as easy to run the ball. So I think when the Falcons are going to have to pass the football, I think it's going to have to be quick, and I think you can get some quick hitters against this defense. You can get some plays to work against this defense when you're throwing the ball quick, getting it out to a Calvin Ridley, to a Kyle Pitts in space. He can possibly make a guy miss, pick up a few extra yards. I think if the Atlanta offense is going to have success, it's going to have to really be that way, and I think they are capable of doing it.
All right. Let me answer a Roe question. He said, why Stephen Means is starting? Can we just plug Walker in instead and add more AO? The reason why Stephen Means is starting, because I apparently some reason, I think the Falcons is listening to some red-headed dude that stays near Orlando. That's why. And I won't put Walker in. I will put Ogundeji in. So, but yeah, Pitts needs to calm down.
They gotta get Pitts the ball. I mean, I didn't feel like he had enough touches.
But he's learning. He's learning, and this is why I tell people that don't be shocked if Hayden Hurst gets more receptions than Pitts. The game got to slow down for him. He's out there. He's running routes. He has to understand how NFL route is ran. He has to understand how it feels to get hit by an NFL linebacker or NFL safety or whatever. Like, he has to learn. And you don't want your rookies to lose confidence like that. So he got to build that confidence up, and then you'll start seeing the receptions, and then you start seeing the big plays come in. So,
to talk about that Steve Means comment. So Steve Means is the other outside linebacker besides Dante Fowler. Behind him is Brandon Copeland and Tui. On the depth chart. So at a certain point, we don't know what Cope's leg is doing because we don't know. Remember, we cut him, put him on IR, and then we brought him back. Mm-hmm. But we know Tui. So at a certain point, I wouldn't be surprised if Tui and when Copeland gets healthy, we see those two guys getting some more rotations than Means. And that's what I kind of sort of would want. But you just don't know what Dean Pease wants at this point. But those are the two guys behind Means. And Ogundeji's behind Fowler. So we have to see, like Mike said, this week 1, we don't know what's going. Like we just don't know what that game plan is this week. So we'll see. I say wait till after the bye week when we start seeing, a lot more roster moves and stuff like that, and that's when we'll get to see some excitement. I'll put it like that.
One thing real quick is that please, all right, everybody go to Twisted Toys TV. All right, that's first and foremost. Go to Twisted Toys TV. Telling you got great content. That's what we do. FILA Sports Podcast GSHM. That's what we do. So if you guys love facts, stats, the truth, all right, we are the source. That's first and foremost. But as far as Stephen Means is concerned, we got to understand this. All right, this is the NFL game has changed. All right, so it does not matter who's going to be the starter. All right, we got to understand that it's all about snaps and the personnel. So if, for example, if you have what we saw with the even Dallas Cowboys game against, they spread the ball out. That's what they did. They spread out Tampa Bay, and they forced them to bring in their third, fourth corners. And when you get down to your third and fourth corners, a lot of the time those guys aren't as good as the starters. So you expose those guys. And
that's how you
one
beat
thing
Dan
early
Quinn's
in the game,
defense. You spread the ball out.
you spread the ball out, and that's essentially why a guy like Stephen Means is in the game, because they will try to spread you out and they will try to run the ball. And Stephen Means is still one of the better run defenders. All right. So until a guy like Ogundeji proves to Dean Pease that he is a great run defender as well as a pass rusher, he's not going to start. So that's the reason why the Falcons are starting Stephen Means. It has nothing to do with potential. He has to prove first and foremost that he can set the edge and stop the run. So like Stephen Means, that's what he does. He set the edge well. But in passing situations, obvious passing situations, that's when you see Ogundeji come in. So that's essentially what, even looking at the Bucs, that's what they do with Shaq Barrett. Shaq Barrett is still one of the better all-around players, but you want him rushing the passer. You don't want him in rushing now. You want him rushing the pass and getting after the quarterback. So that's essentially what the reason by it. It's all about personnel in the NFL.
Yeah.
And they got JPP. JPP can do both.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's in the game most of the time.
All right, let's go ahead and get our predictions in for this game. I'm gonna go ahead and start with you, Twisted.
Listen, I was gonna pick the Bucs at first, but I saw all the sports commentators, ESPN, Undisputed, saying we're gonna get the crap beat out of us. And I started to think, I'm like, hold on, this is a division game. All games in the division come down to one possession or two going into the fourth quarter. So then I realized Matt Ryan doesn't have 2 games like that back to back.
He really doesn't.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna pick the team 31-28.
Let me add this to Falcons fans too. Week 1 is really not good for us for the Falcons under the Matt Ryan era. Like, we always struggle the first game of the season. You just go back to 2008. Yeah, we won that game in 2008 Detroit. But you look at the schedule, you look at the week 1s each season, we normally lose them. So, but the next week we win. So, except for last year. Last year was just a doggone dumpster fire. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got to play better in the beginning of the season, bro. They wait till the end when they get chemistry and they start winning games, and it'd be too late.
Exactly.
You got to build up some wins in that beginning.
You got to build it up. But, but this goes to show you that when you don't, it's a pros and cons when you don't play your first string players in the preseason. Pros is they going in the season healthy, but the con of that is they didn't get any meaningful reps to start the season out. So, all right, everybody in the chat, put y'all predictions in. Evan, go ahead.
Yeah, so of course I think I'm going to be in the minority here, but I am going to be picking the Bucs to win. I just think the Bucs offense is going to be a bit too much. I do think Atlanta is going to put up a much better effort on offense. I think they'll have a much better day on offense than they did against Philly, but I just think the Bucs offense is just a tad too much, and the Bucs win 35-28.
All right, Mike.
As you all know, I'm absolute horse crap when it comes to predictions. So I'm just going to say it's going to be a close game. I absolutely hate predictions. I look like a fool again with this prediction last week. I'm just going to say it's going to be an entertaining game. And Evan, I'm sorry, but you're wrong, sir.
Okay. All right, Tyrone.
Y'all know I the only team in Atlanta I don't predict on is the Hawks, because I did. We won a lot last year. That I didn't predict on it. So, but this year, I'll give y'all 5. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be like y'all. I'm gonna be like Mike. I'm not gonna give y'all a score. But I guess I will. I'll say it'll be a field goal difference. I'll put it like that. It'll be a field goal difference. I don't think it'll be like I think it'll be really, really close the whole game. I don't think it'll be like last week, but I think it'll be a field goal difference. That's how I put it.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't really see both teams scoring a lot of points this Sunday. Whoever cracks 20 is gonna win. Whoever cracks 20 is gonna win. And I'm gonna go ahead and get the score. I'm gonna say Falcons 24 and Tampa Bay. I say 17. I really feel like this is gonna be a bounce. Well, I'm not gonna say a bounce back game because it was the second game of the season, but I really feel like this game is gonna be the Falcons' way of making a statement, saying that hey, last week was a fluke. We just was our first game of the season. We were trying to learn. Coaches they was trying to see what worked with the playbooks and everything. And I really feel like the Falcons are gonna win.
I do think it could be a tight game. I mean, I
see a good defensive game. That's what I'm really leaning on. This is gonna be a good defensive game. Tom Brady's gonna get hit, sacked often, and I feel like it's gonna be the same on the other side. Matt Ryan's gonna get hit, sacked often, but it's gonna come down to who can run the ball, and I really feel like we're going to end up running the ball better than you guys.
Yeah, I mean, the divisional game, I think, is always, just like Twisted mentioned, divisional games are normally pretty close. You know your opponent well. Obviously, with the Falcons having a new coaching staff, the one disadvantage that the Bucs have with playing them early in the year is that coaching staff could still possibly have some tricks up their sleeve that the Bucs haven't seen yet. Obviously, if the Bucs were playing the Falcons in weeks 9 or weeks 10, you could look at the film and pretty much know what the coaching staff is going to be doing. Mm-hmm. But there's only one game of tape, so there could still be a lot of things that Arthur Smith and Dean Pease hasn't put out yet on tape that the Bucs maybe haven't seen and aren't expecting. So that's why I think this game will be higher scoring, but I also believe it will be close.
Yeah. All right. But there you have it.
I just want to throw this out here. If Jalen Hurts has a bad game next week, this week because he is playing the 49ers and that defense is healthy. So y'all just don't try to over. I saw people trying to say Jalen Hurts was supposed to be the next quarterback of the future and everything. Don't overreact. Don't. I'm just saying it. I don't want you. I really don't want y'all. It was. I mean, and we call what is everybody calls that Sunday overreaction Sunday for a reason. Let's put it like that. So
great quarterback. This dude, and I don't like going off draft rankings and stuff, but this dude literally played at Alabama. He was on the depth chart with Matt Jones and Tua. Mm-hmm. Didn't beat neither one of these guys out, and he had to leave to go to a lesser conference in the Big 12 to play at Oklahoma. And then you get drafted in the second round by the Eagles. This man didn't even knew he was going to start last year. If it wasn't for Carson Wentz going down, this man would still probably be a backup if we keeping it 100. But now he's just this next great quarterback. Come on, y'all sounding like the same. Y'all sounding the same way how y'all did back in 2012, 2013 with Colin Kaepernick. And yes, I respect the hell out of Colin Kaepernick and what he's doing, for social awareness and everything. But as far as quarterback goes, no. Like, come on now, like y'all.
That man basically ran a screen offense the entire first week. All right, it was just a screen and pitch and throw offense.
RPO at this
because we
that's
could
pretty
because we
much
couldn't
what
set
it
the,
is.
because we couldn't set the edge and they kept attacking it. They be like, okay, y'all ain't gonna stop it. We gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. So I like I said, Tyrone, like I don't like disrespecting young quarterback. Done. Like I don't like to disrespect young quarterbacks because I like just young players in general because they still have room to grow. So that's why I always have this rule of thirds when it comes down to quarterbacks in general, just players. Give me 3 solid years and then I'll make an evaluation on your career because we've seen time and time again in the third year of Matt Ryan. Nobody knew Matt Ryan was going to be this great until after his third year. Going to his fourth year, that's when he really took off. So, I mean, you can look at Drew Brees. Like Drew Brees was on a pace to be, a bust, if you will. But like, you got to give these guys time to, to really develop. So it's like that's why I don't want to give these guys.
It's the flavor of the month. It's just like with Gardner Minshew a couple of years ago. He gonna be the best quarterback. I'm like, bro, y'all need to chill. Like, give this man a couple of years and see what's going on. But I don't know.
Yeah,
but
that's it, man. They get RPO. Yeah, I mean, when you run RPO as an offense, it's a simpler offense. It helps you get the ball out quicker. It makes you look good, really and truly.
And that's why the Eagles brought in Nick Sirianni because they wanted to run back what they had back in 2017 when Frank Reich was there. They just brought him back just to just to replicate what they did before.
You know what it is? It's the extension of what Georgia Tech did. It's just a prettier Georgia Tech offense. That's pretty much what it is. That's all it is. I'm gonna run to the sideline. I'm gonna pitch to this guy, and every once in a while, I'm gonna throw the ball deep. That's essentially what it is. So it's just a modern approach to what Georgia Tech, that old Nebraska, Joe Frazier, Joey Hamilton type of offense. That's essentially what it is.
Give Paul Johnson his respect. Give Paul Johnson his respect because he did come in. He came in. I mean, he went into Baltimore when he got fired and helped Lamar out with the whole system up there. So, I mean, give Georgia. I mean, Georgia Tech was triple option's always been around, but RPO is just triple option with an actual throw. That's really what it really. You actually throw the ball more in RPO than in triple option. So it's gonna be fun. But getting back to the Bucs game, it's just gonna be fun. I think this is a game where I don't think people are expecting what they want to see out of Atlanta. I mean, it's both teams. I mean, it's 22 starters, and for us, the only person I think we really are missing that started last year. I mean, Julio's not here. I don't remember anybody else that didn't play last year versus Tampa. And we remember how close those games were.
Look, it doesn't matter because it's a whole different regime. So like, I'm not even going.
Yeah, that's true.
Which players?
Yeah, but we remember how fun those games were last year. So
yeah, because it's a player that's on the team right now who struggled last year. They may look better this year. It may. We don't even know. Isaiah Oliver may end up being a Pro Bowler this year. Who knows?
Yeah.
Dante Fowler may end up getting double digit sacks. We don't know yet. It's week 1.
Injuries happen.
Injuries happen any time too.
That's the biggest thing right there. Injuries happen at any given time. Anybody can go down. So at the end of the day, I always say wait and see, because you, like I said, just never know what you're gonna get. All right. Again, you guys go ahead and check out Twisted Torch TV, man. I'm telling y'all right now, the dude is a legend. He's on his way to be one of the greatest there is. All right, Twisted Torch TV. I know I probably sound like his publicist. I know I sound like his hype man. Y'all already know. When I know great content, when I know great creators, I support them. All right.
Yeah.
Evan, you're definitely welcome to come on AFN. We'll definitely be glad to have you. So I'll be looking to reach out to you real soon, man.
That sounds good, man.
Mike, just because you said that, I'm finna drop a video that I did today. I'm gonna drop it right after I get off here.
Right.
Versus the Bucs. Evan, tune in. I'm gonna drop it right after I get off here.
All right. Well, hey, first off, Evan, appreciate you coming on, man. Once again, let everybody know where they can find you.
Of course, yeah. Thanks you. First off, yeah, thank you guys for having me on. Really appreciate it. You guys can find me on Twitter at EvanNFL, and also you can find my podcast, Cannon Fire Podcast, on YouTube or anywhere else you can listen to a podcast.
All right. Once again, man, thank you for coming on, man. Once again, make sure y'all go subscribe to Twisted Torch TV. He's on YouTube. He's on Twitter. He's on Facebook. He's everywhere. Go check him out, you guys. Also, make sure y'all go subscribe to AFN, Mad Mike Sports. Pretty sure you guys are already subbed to those channels already. If you
The GOAT.
Yes, the GOAT. That's right, the GOAT. Me and Mad Mike, we both are considered the brothers of construction when it comes down to Falcons content. All right, we built pretty much everything that you could think of. I'm not trying to toot my own horn and sound arrogant, but
I am shit.
You got to. Who else gonna do it?
It is.
I am.
But
I'm bragging.
When you, here's the thing: when you can say that you built 2 or more like platforms, hey, you can say that because I know I done it. So. But hey, anyway, if y'all new to the channel, make sure y'all subscribe to FILA Sports Podcast. Make sure y'all hit that like button, share this content out with Atlanta Sports Fanatics, and hit us up in the comment section. As always, come holler at your hometown sports podcast. This your boy, The Don, with my co-host, Tyrone. Hey, y'all have a great evening. Don't forget, tomorrow, rivalry week, we will be previewing the Georgia and South Carolina game this week.
Blowout. So, it's not a game. It's a blowout. This put it how it is. It's a blowout.
Hey man, y'all said the same. Y'all said the same thing back in 2019, and what happened?
Don't even. Okay. We not even. Do I need to bring up Appalachian State? Let me bring up Appalachian State. Though.
Oh wow!
Bro, why you bring the old stuff, man? That was like 12.
You brought up 2019. Oh, but I just want to say. So Call on Tyrone is I'm gonna do it a 2-night show now, y'all. It'll be Friday night and it'll be Saturday night. Friday night is the preview show. This weekend we're doing Auburn versus Penn State. We're doing the big game of the week. We're doing Auburn versus Penn State on Friday night at 9. And then of course, the late night show at 11 on Saturdays. I just talk about everything, baby. I talk about all college football throughout the night. Yeah, man, if you're a big college football fan, any of you guys in here that are college football fans, you guys want to come on Friday night or Saturday night, you're always welcome. But yeah, this is gonna be I think I said this and I said this, I'm gonna say it again. UJ is going undefeated this season. That's what I'm gonna leave it off as.
Make sure y'all go tune in to Call on Tyrone. Like, it's a lot of Bulldog fans out there, and
absolutely, to
be real, there is no other Bulldogs content creators on YouTube like that. So if you want the facts about Georgia football, you need to come and go subscribe to his channel.
We ain't gonna tell you that. And we're not gonna tell you that Stetson is a legend. We're not gonna tell you that Stetson Bennett is a legend. We're gonna tell you that he sucks.
And we're not finna sit here and like talk about Jake Fromm for like 3 hours. So yeah, just come. I promise you, go tune in to Call on Tyrone on Saturdays and Friday nights. All right, you would not be disappointed. So on that note, we about to go ahead and head out. Y'all have a great night. And we'll see y'all the next time. See y'all tomorrow. Peace. We out.
Peace.